Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Insomnia live stream AMA. Hey, welcome, Wookie. What's going on, buddy? There we go.
Oh, there we go. I'm trying to get my phone to stop ringing. The Google Hangouts is ringing on my phone too.
The bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
I hear you. What's
going on
tonight? Not much. Not much.
Oh, my mic's not plugged in. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
There we go. A little technical difficulties, but that's okay. So we were hanging out in Subcool's chat, Weed Nerds. Shout out to all the Weed Nerds. And some people said, hey, I'm not ready to go to sleep yet. Let's do a little stream action. So we like to please the people. We like, as we say on the round table, we like to service those who service us. So here we are. This is going to be an AMA style stream. So it will be very chat focused for the folks that may see this after the fact, probably in the morning, which is just a few short hours away on the East Coast. Sorry you missed it. Got about 50 people in the house. Hattie Hash Browns. Wow, haven't seen you in a minute. How's it going, Hattie? Hope you're feeling better. Congratulations on your move and all that good stuff. Fill us in. Fill us into what's going on. Wookie, how are you this evening? Working on the garden at all tonight?
I'm sorry, man. No, yeah, I've been in the garden. I just filmed a YouTube update, and now streams are keeping me from editing.
Oh,
story of my life.
Did I just see Mrs. Cush in the background?
You did see Mrs. Cush.
Hi, Mrs. Cush.
The office here that I use for streaming and all that good stuff also doubles as a her business office for her clothing company. So she's in the background taking pictures and all that good stuff right now.
Yeah, I'll burn some midnight.
Don't mind her. Yeah, man. It's the only time you can get anything done when you got kids.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, like we said,
how's my audio? Sorry.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great. Like we said, purpose of the stream, basically just to provide a chat room for people to hang out, that want to keep the party going, and we're happy to answer any questions. So we got Raz, Soil Biota, Pixel Monkey in the chat, Zen Cannabis, Fresno Nerds, who you can follow on Instagram at sugarhill_CA, as in California. We got Dreadlock Ganja Farmer, Hattie Hash Browns we mentioned, Hunting Phenos, non-acrophobic grower. I'm going to have to Google the word acrophobic because that is
the fear of not being high. I believe acrophobic is the fear of being high. So he's a non-acrophobic grower.
Okay, so it's just a single negative, so we don't have to get the grammar police on him.
I don't think so. I don't know that. I'm not trying to be a smarty. I actually remember that because somebody mentioned that on another live stream. They were asking the same question, and I remember what the answer was. So
I like it.
It's a live stream education, bro.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let me change the white balance on my camera. I'm in Oopa Loopa land. No, I'm not. Okay. A little too much fun with the sidebars. Frosty Nug, Jerry Packard. Bad mother effing wolf. 18 Max.
Oh, you know what, bro? I'm sitting here. You got two streams up, bro. I'm sitting here in chat on the old stream. There's like, how many people are in here?
How many? Oh, geez, Louise. See that?
I'll send out the alert in here, but we got a good solid. I don't know how many. There's probably 30, 40 people just chilling in the other chat.
In the other chat. Okay. There's a little bit of an issue when it comes to YouTube. When you click the stream now thing, you have to fire up your encoder, which would be like your OBS or something. Let me tell these guys other stream. Sorry. Okay, so we'll just keep it going, keep it conversational, Wookie, while I attempt to multitask at this late hour and close down.
I was getting confused, man, because I was looking at chat and you were mentioning all these people. I don't fucking see any of these people. I don't see Hattie or what's going on right now.
Okay. So the thing that's a little bit annoying about YouTube, when you have the option to stream now or events, when you go to stream now and you like kind of set it up or whatever, I don't see an option to delete this stream. So I don't know what we're gonna do about this. Do we have 2 events anyway? So yeah, I have no option to delete this this stream, and there's okay. Anyway, any garden maintenance tonight? Any dark plasma pruning?
Oh man, no pruning. Little defoliation here and there. I pretty much got them all lollipopped up nicely, and I've been tucking and tucking and tucking because I know they're gonna stretch like crazy. So we got about another 6 or 7 days of stretch probably, and we'll be golden. So I'll probably keep tucking them for like maybe like 3 more days, and then I'll just let them shoot up for the last 4 days, and should be right in that little good zone, maybe 16 inches away, 17 inches away from the lights.
Okay. Yeah, that should be just about right. For the folks that aren't familiar with Wookie and his channel and his setup, he's running 16 Citizen chip on board LEDs, and they're run at about 33 watts. So, when you're running that many LEDs that soft, you can press it a little closer, 12 inches, 16, 18 inches, whatever. So, yeah, you should be in good shape. What day of flowering are you in? I missed that.
I'm on 15 today, day 15.
Day 15. Okay, so yeah, plasma's gonna go. Plasma's gonna go another couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Sucks. I got 2. I have one pheno that's just a short bush, man, and sucks. That's one of the downfalls of flood and drain. You can't really throw it on a milk crate or anything to bring it up level with everything else. It's gotta stay in the table. So, it'll be all right. We'll just probably end up squishing everything that comes off of that plant. So
Cool, man. Well, the purpose of the stream, like I said, fired up so folks can just have a place to hang out. If they're like me, they're laying in bed or on the couch with their phone resting comfortably on their belly, just kind of watching chat. Whether or not the actual streamer is interesting or talking about something they're interested in, the chat is where it's at. So the other purpose of it was just to answer some questions. So I think a lot of times when I stream, I get into a little bit of a tunnel vision with a guest, and I neglect the chat, and I don't like to neglect the chat. Because what do we do with the chat, Wookie? We service them. Come on.
Dude, I'm skipping a beat. I was like, I know I should know this.
Okay, so anybody that asks
Sorry.
Bro Mouse will show up in red, and we'll go ahead and read those through. So Justin Fisher says, thanks, man. Thank you. Soil Biota says, please me. I'm not going to please you, Soil Biota, but I would be more than happy to service you. Matt Bry, I know it not a light question. It doesn't have to be a light question. I'm happy to talk about not lighting. And in fact, I'm going to get into the garden tomorrow, do some filming, because you can talk about micromoles all day, but if you can't grow herb, what's the fucking point? So I know it's not a light question, but if one of the biggest okay, I'm going to read this anyway, even though I have to fix your grammar. I know it's not a light question, but if one of the biggest problems of soil and the media is overwatering, how does a drip or ebb and flow work with cocoa? Wookie, I'm going to send this one your way. How do you saturate a cocoa medium frequently, 4 times a day without it getting oversaturated?
Well, cocoa is a hydroponic medium. It's inert, and it holds, what is it, like 2 or 3 times its volume in water or something like that. But as long as the water that you're putting into it is well oxygenated, your roots will like to be sitting in that water and nice and saturated in that cocoa, and they won't have a problem with it. As far as I know, I flood my tray 4 times a day, and it's a recycle system similar to setups you've probably seen on like Vader's channel. So as the tray fills up, all that water starts falling back into the reservoir and oxygenating the water. I don't run any air stones or anything like that. So that oxygenated water in the cocoa, your roots have no problem. In fact, most of my roots are hanging out in the tray, not even in the medium. So
wow.
Not most of them, but a lot of them. You got a nice little root skirt around each pot. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you to clarify something real quick? Your reservoir does not have an air stone or a pump or power head. It's just stagnant when it's
Stagnant.
not. Interesting
Yep.
strategy.
No power head, and that's kind of a style and a technique that I just learned from watching people specifically on that Vader OG. He doesn't run any, as far as I know, any air stones or anything. I know specifically he does not run any air stones. But he's mentioned before that you could run a power head if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. The waterfall effect takes care of it pretty well.
Interesting. Well, the results speak for themselves. Check
Yeah,
out
for
Vader's
sure.
results. RuPaul Randy asks, "Good morning, Mouse. Have you started your Mammoth P side by side?" Welcome, Randy. I would have if I wouldn't have hopped on Subcool stream. You might have noticed during his stream I was mopping and I had my simple green out to clean the walls, so I want it to look nice, really nice. Mammoth P side by side will start tomorrow, and I'll be filming tomorrow as well. Hijack 420 says, "What's up?" Hey, Hijack, shout out. We got Brian. I don't know. CZ.
You wanna answer any lighting questions there, Growmouse, or is that too much for your brain tonight?
No, I can definitely do that. I'm just trying to go down the line. Anywhere I see my name highlighted in red, I'm doing that. So Dan Kling 420 says, "Would you still recommend King Bright?" I would not dissuade people from ordering from King Bright, but I'm a numbers guy, so I spreadsheet everything. And by the time you add the shipping and the 4% or 4.5% PayPal fee, you might come out a few pennies ahead. I like Jerry from King Bright. I think he's a great guy. He's done a lot for the community. I would rather support American entrepreneurs and Australian. I still support Qatar, but my philosophy's changed a little bit into as far as my views on sending U.S. dollars to China. I think enough of our dollars are going to China, and if you can get the same components at a comparable price from not China, that's just personal philosophy. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the supplier. Can I use 100K Henkel 89, one of my favorite regulars in all the chat rooms? Can I use 100K pot for dimming a single driver? So the way it works, Henkel, 100K is your starting resistance for any dimming knob. 100K divided by one driver is 100K. So that's what you use for one driver. If you have two drivers, you take the 100K, you divide by two. So two drivers uses a 50K, 3, 33K, 4 drivers, 25K, so on and so forth. And that's how that works. And yes, B version Meanwhile drivers are the ones that have the external dimming knob. A versions are also dimmable, but you just need a screwdriver. Okay, we're cruising right along. Got my notepad ready, Zach Elliott says. Cheers, brother. Frosty Nug Limited, what footprint would just one of those new Gen 2 lights? Frosty Nugs, I can't really answer that question because I don't have the data. The information that was talked about on the live stream this weekend was, that's the information I'm operating off of. So Vitaly and I have not had any private conversations, so just as much as me, dog. What else are you seeing out there, Whoop?
No, you nailed the one from Henkel. I was gonna say I saw that one from Henkel earlier, and shout out to Henkel, man. Henkel's all over the place, bro. Every time I pop up an Instagram live stream or anything, bro, he's there.
CO says, looking for any reason not to do that after harvest clean out. I know, brother. those clean outs suck, but I think it pays for it in the end. Holy Smoke says, can using a metal halide and flour the whole time be detrimental? I run perpetual with HPS, metal halide, and LED. Well, detrimental is a word that kind of boxes me in my answer. HPS is the traditional flowering light due to all the red, and we know that just from the sun that when our plants flower naturally outdoors, it's because the sun changes its position between the earth and the light's more red, so we use more red. But I don't think you could go wrong with it. You might have more quality, but you might have a little bit less weight due to a little slower photosynthesis. You seen anything else there, Wook?
No, but don't forget, bro. The moon doesn't emit light; it reflects it. Just don't forget that.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. What are your thoughts, Wookie? Have you ever flowered under metal halide?
I have not. No. I remember kind of back in the day that things have changed so much now with the internet age, man. I mean, people. I just remember back in the day it was either metal halide or HPS. People were like, trying to steal HPS bulbs out of streetlights and stuff so they could use them back in the Prohibition days. So I don't know, man. I think metal halide would work, but I think you'd have better results with HPS, just from what I hear.
I think most people are probably going to agree with you on that one. Bud Rocher, do you see his question, Wookie?
I do not.
Okay, he's asking about LED rope lights underneath the grow. Putting lights underneath the grow is definitely something that's viable. A lot of people in the past have said it's worthless to put lighting underneath the leaf because there's no chloroplast down there, and that's where the chlorophyll's at. But in fact, light can penetrate through the bottom of the leaf and be absorbed by the chloroplast in the middle of the leaf, in the middle of the leaf in the mesophyll, and so there may be value to that.
I'm going to give you a completely worthless piece of information right here, but you may find some benefit to it. But there's a study done recently by a university that I don't have the name or a reference or any type of information for that for you. But I did read somewhere that there is actually a huge benefit to lighting a leaf from underneath. And they did a study, and I'll have to find it and link it to you guys later.
Yeah, and I read the abstract of that study, and I can't remember what university it was, but it was a peer-reviewed white paper, and the basics on it is that our plants have the chloroplast, which is the center for the photosynthetically active pigments, and when you illuminate a leaf from the top, those chloroplasts that are on the upper leaf surface can get saturated with red light, meaning they, in so many words, are like, bro, we're full on red. So by shining light underneath the canopy with a different spectrum, I think they might have used green light or a green light dominant spectrum. You can have easier access to the leaves and the chloroplasts inside of the mesophyll that are not saturated. They got room. There's room in the inn for little baby Jesus. So there you go.
Think of like a freaking like a LED rope light scrognet or something, bro.
That would work. LED rope lights are pretty fucking worthless. So for a comparable amount of money, you might want to look into a product called the Bridge Lux EB. E as an elephant, B as in boy. And they're a very affordable strip that doesn't require a heatsink. And they're very inexpensive. And they sell them on DigiKey. They also sell them at Cutter Electronics. And you can check those out. Nitro Nomad asks, what can I measure on Mars 700 blank drivers to see what I could do for a cob upgrade? Well, I've got a Mars 700 top right here, Nitro Nomad, if you're still here. And of course, they're built so cheaply that the extra fraction of a penny to print a label and put it on the driver would drive the cost up by $1,000 a year. So they don't put fucking labels on them. So what you have to do is you have to pull out a multimeter, and you have to touch the red and black with your multimeter for voltage. And then you have to snip one of the wires and run through your multimeter to measure amperage. And if you need more instruction on how to use a multimeter for electronics, I would recommend a YouTube channel called Afro Tech Mods. It'll teach you how to use a multimeter. But I'm happy to actually tell you what your Mars 700 drivers have. There appears to be 6 boxes on here. And sometimes you'll open up a Mars and it will have separate LED drivers and separate fan drivers. Other times you'll find that the Mars have a driver that has an integrated fan driver. So in this, I guess your screen's top right, that's an LED driver with a fan driver integrated. So this indeed does have 6 drivers. Each driver puts out 570 milliamps. Okay. And it puts out 100 volts, but the way Mars has it designed, they're only utilizing 85.8 volts of there. So the short answer is you got 6 drivers, 100 volts, 570 milliamps. Cool.
I got a question here from Dale0844. Wants to know, do you see any issues with vegging with a 1,000-watt metal halide and switching to a cob LED in blue?
No, I don't see any issue with that at all. Actually,
none at all.
No,
this sounds great.
And in fact, I think the spectrum between a halide and a cob are going to be similar enough to where you could buy a $30 lumen meter from Amazon, and you could take some measurements of the relative brightness of your halide and your cob, and that would help you adjust your hanging height in flowering with using a lumen meter, and you'd probably be okay. Kind of match that brightness, you know what I'm saying?
I was just getting lost in your whiteboard there. I think I see what you're doing there.
Oh, my whiteboard. That was from an Instagram stream.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I missed it.
Big shout out, because I think some different folks will probably see this on my channel than we're on Sub's channel. So my friend Fada Mike and Ruby Doobie, who are on the GrowTube Roundtable, they have a website, and that website is FADAH, Fada Mike. I think it's just fadamike.com, right?
Yeah, I'll check it out and link it.
They sell some cool gear, really thick, high quality coffee cup. I drink a lot of coffee, as you can imagine, with the amount of shit I get done. And a really cool grinder, like a really thin pocket grinder. You slide it right in that little pocket of your jeans. And I'll be bringing this out to the SoCal Cup, because when I was at the Emerald Cup, people kept handing me buds, but they didn't have a bag or a piece of foil or anything. It was like, here's a bud, bro. So I stick it in my North Face jacket, and it gets all this lint on it. So I'll pop it right in the grinder, grind it up, and smoke that shit.
I was just talking to my wife tonight about wanting to go down to the SoCal Cup. I think we're going to make it happen.
Oh, man, that would be fantastic. You understand that you will have some responsibilities as my producer and assistant and employee.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be at the airport with a suit on, waiting for you.
Okay, with a sign.
Yep, Mr. It'll just be signed, just says GM5.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. There will be times, there'll be some formal times where I will ask you to call me Mr. 5. It's just, when we're around networking and people.
Of course.
So you could wear a tuxedo t-shirt though. I mean, we're cannabis growers. Like we can keep it casual, bro.
What about like a pot leaf tuxedo?
That would be cool. That'll work. Okay, so I'm at the Fada Mike comment. I don't have much. Okay, so we're only 5 minutes behind chat. So chat, we are catching up with you and your questions, but we're here to answer questions. That was the purpose of the stream. So we are 100% here to service you to completion. Chris Tesmer asks, I have a China LED with two 80 to 130 volt drivers, 580 milliamps. What should I hack it into? Well, Chris, that's a really interesting driver setup you have there, because it's very uncommon for a China LED to have a driver over 100 volts. This one has 130 volts, which is really cool. If you look in the background of my stream, does Mrs. Cush need something? Okay, he's muted. Okay. Chris Tesmer, if you look in the background, you'll see some quantum boards. They're 110 volt, and they would do quite well at 580 milliamps, and they're going to run you $75. And you may or may not be able to fit those into your fixture. If that's too spendy for you, you may want to go over to northerngrowlights.com and look into the Citizen CLU 048-1818. They're a 50 volt cob. Two of those would utilize 100 volts on that driver, and basically give you 100 watts per driver. Or actually, it'd be 58 watts. It'd be 116 watts per driver for a total of 232 watts. And it could be dope. Brian CZ asks, Blumots, trough Blumots are where it's at for no-till. Oh, absolutely, Brian. Blumots are awesome for soil and peat-based mediums where there's a little bit of expansion in the media. For cocoa, I've heard reports that people have been able to get them to work. I had a little bit of trouble with Blummets in cocoa myself. They worked, but there was kind of a constant adjustment, and they absolutely will not work if you're using a lot of perlite in your cocoa medium or otherwise. So yeah. Miko Okeem, I see you have a question, but you spelled my name wrong, so it's not red. So we are passing you by. Woody, smiley face. Thanks for coming, buddy. Dazed and Blazed. Is it true Perfect Sun uses Chinese manufacturers and claiming it's its own? I have a tremendous amount of respect for YouTube entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general. So I'm not going to speculate on a product that I've never physically touched. But I think if there is a doubt in your mind about the origin of the diodes in any LED product, I would consider doing more research and try to track down people that own the light and see if you can find some real world unbiased data to see if see if it's working. I think what you'll find is that if it looks like a Chinese LED, it very well may be, but I really can't speculate. It wouldn't be fair to that other YouTuber and his business. Marcos Ramos, how can I gain weight? Well, I think you just fucking go eat at McDonald's this day. Right? I mean, that's how I've been gaining weight is fucking Wendy's 4 for $4, man.
Oh, fuck.
All right, but if you're looking to gain flower weight with 1600 watts going into my grow without CO2 using CNS17 line, ppm runoff is 900. Well, I appreciate the attempt to be thorough. We probably need a little bit more data. If your feed water is coming in at 1,000 and running off at 900, I'd say great. If your ppm's coming in at 0 and coming out at 900, I'd say go watch Grandmaster Levels channel and he'll teach you how to flush like a pro. 1600 watts of what, Marcos Ramos? I'd be more than happy to follow up with you on this question, but I need to know what the light source is because I just did a 2-hour stream talking about how watts really as a standalone metric for light performance doesn't mean shit, bro. What else? Let's see. Serpent, what you think about these TCI linear LED strips? I will Google that right now. And Wookie, I'll allow you to read the next question while I'm Googling.
I don't know where you're at, but I found one I don't think you've read yet. Doobie Hauser, he has a cookie strain that auto flowers always, even under 24/7. T5 or metal halide starts to auto flower. Do you think that you can stop that with a higher Kelvin spectrum? Nope.
I don't think so. I mean, if photoperiod is your first tool in your arsenal for manipulation of vegetative to reproductive growth, and if it's flowering in 24 hours, bro, I mean,
I don't think the spectrum would matter, right? I mean,
no, not at 24 hours.
You could keep a plant in veg with a like a floodlight. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of light source. If it's getting hit with light, it's going to stay in veg. Most of the time, right?
Yes. To the previous question, I did Google the strip, and these diodes actually look like a Samsung diode. So what you're going to want to do is keep in mind the progression of the Samsung diodes that we've been talking about a lot on my channel. So there's the LM561 is the series. B is the earlier generation, B as in boy. C is the current newest generation. And inside of C, there's the S5 and the XS6 bin. S5, totally acceptable. S6 is the newest. So who is that? That was Serpent. I think it looks like a go, bro. I think it looks like a go. I like cheese. Hey, I like cheese too. I run 8 Cree CXB 3590s. on 2 Meanwell HLG 185 1400s, and I'm in a meter squared, would it be beneficial to run them on an HLG 320 1050? Well, right now you have 400 watts of cobs at an efficacy of approximately 2 micromoles per joule. If you were to go to an HLG 320, you'd be using a single driver. So you'd be going from 200 watt drivers for 400 watts down to 1 driver at 320 watts. So you'd be losing wattage, but you'd be gaining efficacy. And the efficacy gain of doing that, what you're talking about doing, would be somewhere in the neighborhood of, you'd be looking at about a 9% light gain, but you're losing 80 watts. So I like cheese. I think that would be a poor move. I think that would actually be less photons. But if you're having trouble controlling heat, then that's definitely something you could do.
Maybe if you have trouble controlling the heat, maybe you could detach the drivers from the fixture if they are attached now.
Sure.
Remote driver setups are dope.
They certainly are. You can get about 6% of that heat away from the canopy or out of the room, right?
Yeah, if he's in a tent. Sounds like he's probably in a tent if he's in a meter by a meter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull those drivers out of there. I don't know. Those drivers get hot as fuck, man. I think a little tent would probably heat it up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, 6% of the total wattage. What is 6% of 400 watts? 400 times 0.06. Yeah, 24 watts of heat you can pull out of there, brother. Now I feel like a jerk because Miko Okeem, who I made fun of for grammar, says his phone auto corrects, and I apologize because I've been there. And but those phones, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've texted someone the word "you mother ducker," and just stupid shit. It just whatever.
I was texting somebody earlier today, and I was trying to say, what was I trying to say? I was trying to say, I was trying to type, you're probably busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition. And I accidentally typed, it auto-corrected me and typed, you're busier than a one-legged man in an ass-licking competition. So that, I don't think that went over very well.
No, but an ass-licking competition really evokes a lot of mental images that I'm really not prepared to talk about right now. Wookie, will you catch up with the next question and just read it out to me?
I'm just not sure where you're at, bro, but I got a couple here. Let's see here. Any idea what Morrison Cobb 600 watt LED with reflector are actually putting out? I have 3 in a 4x4 with 2 100 watt CFLs and 100 watts of T5. That's from Grozen R&D.
Grozen R&D. And what was the name of that manufacturer again?
That is the Morrison Cobb 600 watt LED with reflector.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with that, but
you see a lot of people. Not a lot of companies putting out Cobb fixtures that I've. It's not huge, okay. Right?
Yeah. So we talked about this actually, and Grozen R&D. The reason why you need all this other stuff is because, to be quite frank, and I sincerely hope I don't hurt your feelings, but those aren't really Cobbs. They're a bunch of small diodes on a printed circuit board, which means that the Cobbs are manufactured and then basically soldered onto a board by a machine, whereas a Cobb, truly at its nature, is also a bunch of LEDs, but they're all 450 nanometer blue LEDs, and they're manufactured onto a substrate like a ceramic disc or sometimes a metal disc. And then those 450 nanometer blue diodes, which are the most efficient diodes, are covered with a phosphor layer, which is what's that yellow part that makes them look like a Cobb. And that's how you get the high efficiency out of it. This is just a bunch of shitty Chinese chips on a shitty light, bro. So
just group them in tight with a reflector.
Yeah, like we talked about, hey.
Yeah, I remember we touched on that last week. Yeah, I remember these.
You can grow fire quality, but you're going to be getting about a 0.5 gram per watt with these. So, yeah, trash those Cobbs, open up the driver and report back if it has a label on it. Otherwise, learn how to use a multimeter, just like I talked about a few minutes ago, by watching Afro Tech Mods YouTube channel. Best LED for cloning and distance. Distance is fairly irrelevant as long as you can provide a nice diffuse light at around 60 to 90 par. And if you don't have a par meter, then that's going to be tough. When in doubt, just use a T5 for your cloning. You can't go wrong.
Okay. Tiffany Amber wants to know, and I'm sorry, Tiffany. You're probably a good person, but obviously you're not a huge watcher of the channel, because she wants to know if you've used the quantum boards yet. And she also wants to know how far you keep them from the canopy, pushing close to 80% and up of maximum wattage.
Okay.
We'll let you slide on that one, Tiffany, but
Tiffany, let me see. Okay. So right now on my chat screen, I'm officially scrolled down, so I'm seeing the most current messages. So if I have not answered your question, you'll need to re-ask it, so I can stay caught up. So Tiffany, yeah, I built the quantum canopy light that was covered here a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm now on day 17 of flower, yet I haven't filmed a single frame. So you just have to use your imagination for the first 17 days. I'm very happy with my quantum boards. And I'm even using the older ones, the S5s that are sold out. You don't even have to worry about it. The new ones will be between 6 to 10% more efficient, depending on how you drive them. I'm very happy with every aspect of them, the penetration. I had less stretch on a very stretchy OG than I ever had with Cobb's, with my old 600 watt HPS. The penetration looks great. The bud development, 24 inches into the canopy, is excellent. And the hanging height is actually much closer than I thought I'd be able to run. I'm running about 12 inches. People on the stream saw a little earlier that my plants are slightly light in coloration. They're not that deep forest green color. They're definitely a healthy green, slightly lighter, because I'm really pressing the light hard. And I do that a lot of the times to keep that stack tight. Okay. Spaceballs asks, is Atlas LED or Flip Chip Opto any good? Flip Chip Opto is very good. They have some patents that you can advance LED technology in several ways, and Flip Chip Opto has gone about it by developing a process where the chips, the individual chips that are inside of that cob, are they're basically connected in a more advanced way than Cree uses, and Cree uses what's called wire bond technology. If you look at a cob that is like dim to 1%, you'll see these tiny little hairline pieces of wire, and there are some limitations to that strategy. And Flip Chip Opto is using a technology that is a generation beyond that, and they're using what's called a remote phosphor technology, which means they can put these 450 nanometer blue diodes underneath the phosphor coating, which is that yellow part, and they with remote phosphor, you can have 2 different colors on the same cob. So they're really, really cool, but they're very expensive. And yeah. Marcus Ramos, do you want to trim my cannabis infused wine? Yeah, I'll have a sip. What's the difference between Citizens, the CLU 048 series? What's the difference between the 1818 and the 1812? So when you're looking at Citizen Cobs, 048 refers to how wide it is in millimeters, how wide the actual disc is, the yellow part. 18, the first 2 numbers are determine the voltage. 18 is 50 volts. And if it's 12 at the beginning, it's 36 volt. Those numbers refer to how many diodes are in series and how many are in parallel. So if you made a grid, like remember that old game, Wookiee Connect 4, where we had the grid? So like that's what a cob is. And imagine a Connect 4 that's 18 wide by 18 long, more chips, right? Because 18 by 18 is 324, and 18 by 12 is 216. So 1818 just got a lot more chips.
I got a good question here from Steampunk Rhino. He wants to know how you feel about mixing the spectrums between something like a 2700 Kelvin HBS and the kind of spectrum produced by a platinum LED. Would they blend well? So I've actually seen this question a couple times. People asking, okay, we get that the blurples are not, good standalone, but is there some type of use for using them to like supplement, using the spectrum? How do you feel about that?
Sure. Are we still running 2 streams? Because I don't see Steampunk Rhino anywhere.
No, I think we're in the same spot, man. Yeah, he's up a little bit. It wasn't.
Okay.
I kind of paused on it, so.
Okay, who is the last person to leave a message? Name one of the last 3 or 4 people. Make sure we're in the same
Let me
page.
scroll down. Active 9X.
Okay, we're in the same spot. Okay.
Yeah.
When you take a chip on board LED where it has 450 nanometer royal blue LEDs as the base, and you put that yellow coating on it, the higher the Kelvin, the thinner the coating, essentially. Well, either the thinner or the pigments that are in the phosphor that change the color are less. So in so many words, it's a lens, and the higher the Kelvin, the thinner that lens is, so the more light can get out, right?
Because
So
they're blue, right?
they're blue. So if you want to do a blue light like a 6500 or a 5K, you don't need much phosphor. More photons can get out.
Right.
The sweet spot has been 3500K. It's the best balance of a nice red spectrum and not so much phosphor that you block a lot of light. 3000 is totally acceptable. When you get down to a 2700, there's so much phosphor on there that you're trading out total photons that contribute to photosynthesis for spectrum. So, you can do a 2700K, but use them sparingly, and that will provide you with that that nice deeper red. But there is no substitute really for adding some 660s, 660 nanometer, because even the lowest Kelvin temperature cobs, like the 2700, they got a little 660 in them. But if you really want to hit that 660, add some monos like what are in the platinum.
So, so to kind of come back to the question, is there, like if let's say somebody had some blurples and they upgrade and they build their own cob setup, should they take the blurple lights out back and do an office style smashing, or should they keep them around and maybe use them to add some spectrum in?
Well, we kind of have to start being a little bit more clear when we're talking blurple, because the new spectrums that are coming out are going to be like this, like
right, like the chilled thing, right? Like the pink.
It's very light. It's like a light pink. So blurple in itself is not bad. It's the Epistar diodes that are used in all the cheap fixtures that are bad. So like I got 2 pounds off of that 650 Gen 1 chilled, which was blurple, right?
Right.
And so it's not the blurple spectrum that doesn't perform, it's the diodes. So yeah, you could smash it, or you could drop the drive current so low, like 350 milliamps, that you can actually drive the efficiency to a respectable level. So you could go office space or drop the current.
Word. So we got to come up with like a new, what's going to be the new, is it going to be like Plink or like
Plinko?
Plinko spectrum? I don't know.
We got to come up with a catchy kind of cool name for the pink.
Pink is the new blurple, man. It's coming back.
The warm pink center. We call it the medium rare spectrum. Yeah.
There it is.
There we go.
You got some of the medium rare boards, bro.
So Brian CZ asks, Vitaly at Chilled said his new tech's putting at 2.6 micromoles during lab testing. That's crazy. And the spectrum looks good too. Is this new tech for real? Well, you saw the same data as I did. We have the contact information that was live streamed actually when I showed the report, and it's on the lab report section. He went to CSA Group, which is a very well-respected lighting laboratory that works for a lot of big companies. So the numbers are not coming from Vitaly. They're coming from an independent certified testing laboratory with $250,000. Actually, the clamshell one is probably more like $500,000 integrating sphere. So I'm gonna have to say it's legit, bro. I'm gonna have to say it's real. Johnny C, good luck on that Colorado finest, dude. I couldn't get Grow Mouse to answer me or none of the questions. That's why I'm sitting here like a goof trying to ask 200 times. Well, Johnny C, as you can clearly see, a lot of questions are coming in. If you tag me, I'll try to answer. I just honestly didn't see your question, but now I feel bad, so I'm going to scroll back up. Johnny, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't see any questions from you, dude. So try again.
Hijack 420 is asking me, how did the Vipar Spectra perform in flower? The quality was fine. The quantity was lacking. So
Okay.
they're fine. I mean, they're the one thing I'll say for Vipar Spectra is I didn't have any diodes blow out on me, so they're still kicking. Fans are all running. So they did fine in that aspect, but just like all the other blurples, bro.
Now,
You're gonna get about. Oh, what was that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought. I was going to ask about your yield again.
So I yielded in a 3x3 that was scrogged completely. So I'm confident that I got the max, on a decent yielding strain. So, I don't think I could have gotten much more out of that strain in that spot, with those lights. So, what I'm getting at is I got the maximum yield I think possible. Ended up with about a half pound.
Now, was that dry weight or wet weight?
That's dry weight.
Of course it was dry weight. Marcos Ramos, we definitely appreciate your participation, but who the fuck is like, oh, dude, I just pulled 1,000 grams wet weight, bro? Like, of course it's fucking dry weight.
Who weighs the fucking bud wet?
It's wet. Sorry, man.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a wet weight, now that you're saying that. I'm be like, bro, I just fucking pulled 6 pounds out of my 4x4 dog. That's the stems and the cocoa, bro.
Smashing Pumpkins 3. So late here, Grandmas. Can you please answer my question? Yes, and I'm gonna scroll up and try to find it. There's 193 people in here, Smashing Pumpkins. So, chat's going pretty good, and I've now clicked my mouse to scroll up 4 or 5 times, and I don't see your between cobs and quantum boards, which ones have a longer shelf life? They all have what's called a lumen maintenance of approximately 50 to 60,000 hours. So they're going to be very similar because of the nature of quantum boards, the way the LEDs are spread out so much. Thermally, it will be a lot easier on the quantum board diodes. So with a fair amount of confidence, I can say that quantum boards, assuming the manufacturing of the boards and the reflowing, which means soldering the boards onto the diodes, assuming that is done to a high standard, quantum boards could outlive cobs, but cobs are professionally manufactured in a laboratory and tested at the Cree factory, so their margins of error are going to be a lot tighter than a quantum board. So there you go. Hard to say, hard to predict the future, my friend. Real quick one, Domenes, have you looked into Cree XPEHEs? You obviously don't watch that many of my videos because I've talked about it 3 times. That's what's in the quantum canopy.
Green Man, here's a good one. He says, Grow Mouse, I feel ripped off. I'm a new grower and went out and got myself 2 400-watt Mars 2s with the 5-watt EP stars. Will it be a total failure?
I don't know, Wookie. You just answered that question like 2 minutes ago. Viper Spectrum is a Mars.
Same thing.
You're going to get a 0.5 gram per watt, and that's if those are true 400s. Because when I bought a Mars 400, it pulled 200 watts out of the wall.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a true wattage. I mean, they're all bullshit. I mean, they're all. I mean, as far as these blurple lights, you see a Mars 600 and it's pulling less than half of that. I mean, I haven't seen one that they represent their real wattage. I don't know where the fuck they come up with these numbers.
I'll tell you where they came up with it. There's something called perceived value when you order a drink of alcohol. If it comes in a solo cup, and you're out in New Orleans, you expect to pay $2 or $3 for that. You take that same quality of alcohol, you put it in a nice crystal glass or a thick based glass, and you can charge $12 for it. The quality of the product has not changed. It's just perceived value. So what these Chinese manufacturers do is they take a diode that has a theoretical max current of 1,000 milliamps. And at 1,000 milliamps, it'll run at 5 watts. At 1,001 milliamps, it'll be in danger of blowing out, right? Because you've exceeded the max current. So what these people do is they do something called LED watch, which means if you were to hypothetically change out the drivers out of the fixture the way they came and push the diodes to max, yes, you could theoretically get 400 watts out of there. But they don't come with those drivers. So it's like it's true watts, LED watts. It's bullshit made up by the Chinese manufacturers, or I should say overseas. And
And
it's just,
like we learned on from you, if they knew anything about what they're talking about, they wouldn't be advertising them as 400-watt fixtures, because 400 watts doesn't really mean shit anyways.
true that. But yeah, so bro, you got, if you have two 400s, that really in actuality is two 200s, which means you have a total of 400 watts. So if you pull a half a pound out of that harvest, you're doing pretty good. So I wouldn't consider half a pound a total failure. And that question,
They grow cannabis. They do.
technically, you are correct. Okay, so CO is helping us out. Johnny C needs drivers for Cobb Chip One Piece Osram Solarique, 45 watt, 3000K, 1080 milliamp. I need a driver for these chips. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this Cobb and I'm going to Google it. And I'm going to see if I can find a voltage. The first result is the data sheet. And Wookie, go ahead and read the next question while I multitask here.
Andre Garcia, Grow Mouse, please help me answer the question. I have to go in 20 minutes. For T5 fixture, TL or LED is the best. Grow versus price aspect for NFT system, and it is okay to let the light 24/7.
Okay.
I'm trying to read that well.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. So it's impossible to make a blanket statement like, are T5s or LED better? Okay. T5s are going to be pretty constant. They're going to be about 100 lumens per watt, which is something like 0.8 micromoles per joule, somewhere around there. So they're not terribly efficient, but they have a long track record of being successful. If you get a crappy LED, it's going to be the same amount of light per watt as a T5, like a Mars or something like that. If you get a better LED, like a Cobb or a Quantum board or something, yeah, it's going to way outperform the T5s. The 24-hour light thing is a personal philosophy. When I light my plants in 24 hours, even though the light's on, I see the leaves droop down because the plants are processing the sugars from photosynthesis, and they're sending starches out through the root system. So I see no reason to run 24 hours worth of lighting. It's wasteful. And you're lighting plants that are sleeping. And
one thing I have heard, I remember Vader talking about, and I don't want to misquote him, but I might have heard it somewhere else. But the one good thing about 24 hours light is, it's bad, like you said, you're wasting light. But on the other hand, some strains don't need 6 hours of sleep. Okay, so some strains will only sleep for 4 hours, let's say, or 3 hours. And when you run them under 24 hours of light, they are going to sleep. No matter what, if they're being lit for 24 hours or not, they're going to take their 3 hours of sleep. But if they're say you have a strain that only sleeps for 3 hours, under 24 hours of light, they're going to sleep for 3 hours and produce for 21. You know what I'm saying? And under 18.6, they're only going to be able to photosynthesize for 18 hours when there's another potential 3 hours that they're missing out on because there's no light. So you are wasting light, and energy and all that good stuff by running 24 hours, because yes, they are going to be sleeping for some period of time when they should be, or when the lights are on, but you're maximizing their photosynthesis period by running them under 24 hours of light to their maximum potential. So it's a personal thing. They'll do just fine under 18.6. I haven't seen that as a huge benefit, but that's what I've heard.
Dude, that's a perfect answer. I mean, it's so hard to make blanket statements, and you're absolutely right. Strain dependent, but so how could you determine if your light prefers 18 hours or 21 hours? You got any ideas on how we could do that?
No, I couldn't. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Maybe you could watch your plants and find out how long they're sleeping for under 24 hours of light or something. I couldn't. I haven't heard of anybody actually doing that and then adjusting their timers, but I think you just got to take a stand, and you're either going to go 24 or you're going to go 18. And I prefer 18 because I think they do fine under 18. And most of the time, to be honest with you, when I'm vegging, the fucking plants veg way too fast, and I'm always trying to slow them down anyway. So I prefer 18.6.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Another option: take one of your old cell phones, like an old iPhone, plug it into the wall, set it to never go to sleep, and set the camera onto time lapse mode, and you will be able to capture an entire cycle of what's going on with the plant under 24 hours of light. Okay. And then in that time lapse, you'll be able to see the leaves go from a praying mode down to like drooping down. And you can sort of estimate at like, say, it's a 30-second time lapse. And those leaves start going down towards the last
So,
few seconds.
so you could time it out, right?
You could time it out. I don't want to spend any more time on this. I want to go back to Johnny C. Okay. I Googled that Osram Cobb. It has 44 volts, max current of 1600 milliamps. If you want to run it at 1050, this is actually not the correct driver, but this is an APC 35700. If you got an APC 351000, that would provide you with about enough voltage to run it. And it would do just fine. So actually this one would drive it. This APC 35700, it would drive it, but it would only drive it at like 30 watts. So that would work. Okay, what else? What's next?
Okay. Grow Mouse. I will give me it straight up. I want to integrate UV/IR into my Cobb setup. As far as pre-builts go, do you have any recommendations? And
he wants to integrate what into what?
He wants to integrate UV and IR into his Cobb setup, and he wants to know if you have any recommendations for pre-builts. This is from Presto1.
Oh, hey Presto. Welcome. I've been seeing you a little bit. I used to see you a lot more often, and I miss you. Yeah, so integration of UV and IR is a little tricky. A lot of grow lights are starting to put UVA into their fixtures, but if you want to get UVB, you're just going to have to grab a T5, go over to htgsupply.com, and you're going to have to grab one of those pure UVB bulbs. It's got a nice ratio of UVB, so that'll cover you there. Now, as far as IR, I'm not aware of many manufacturers putting IR. I know that Lush LED puts some IR into theirs, but that's an Epistar fixture. So you're gonna have to do a little DIY rig with some IR 3-watt diodes from like Rapid LED or something, or Steve's LED, whatever. Cool. Let's see. We had one come in from Green Man, who also has a 400-watt HPS sitting around. You mentioned two Mars 400s. Realistically, it's only 200 watts each. Would the 400-watt alone outperform the Mars? So I'll tell you what. Since the rate of questions is kind of slowing down, I can answer this one in detail, actually, unless you see something pressing, Wookie.
I do not.
Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's figure this out together. And what we'll do is we'll do the math. So we have a 400-watt HPS. And its efficacy with a brand new bulb and reflector is 1.3 micromoles per joule, which is 520 photons per second coming out of that bulb. Now, this is just an estimate. If we're using a 400 in a one, let's say a 1 meter space, 38 inches by 38 inches, then you divide by the square meters, which is 1. Okay, and that gets us 520. So that's your PPFD, photosynthetic photon flux density. Now, if we were to go with two Mars 400, which are realistically only 200 watt each, Green Man, like you said, we have 400 watts of Mars at their efficacy, which is 0.9 micromoles per joule. So it's it's a lot less light. You're better off with the 400 than two Mars. So yes, the 400 watt would most likely outperform it. And Airwalker 16 is in chat. Welcome. He is the person who introduced me to the AgroMax Pure UV because I was going to use some lame ass reptile bulb that's like 10% UVB, 90% UVA. So thank you for that great recommendation, Airwalker 1616.
KC Lab wants to know, why don't I have audio? I don't know why you don't have audio, Casey.
Does everyone have audio? I think I have audio.
I hope so. I've seen some thank yous and some comments, so I think we're good.
Oops, I had my speaker on for a little while. Could you hear the feedback coming from my speaker through the mic?
Not at all.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Minnie, dude, I'm just gonna follow your build to a T then and figure it out. Well, Minnie, that's definitely a strategy you can use. I'm an LED guy and I'm a tech guy and I use those projects to sort of fuel this channel for content. So I tend to not be very price sensitive when it comes to components. I'm not rich or anything, but I just choose to spend my extra income on LED stuff. So following me could get a little bit expensive, but I do have a series called DIY LED Basics, and you could kind of put it on while you were trimming and just listen, and after a little while, you could absorb the information to design your own. Demenis, I have a bunch of questions, but now I feel like an idiot. No, you shouldn't feel like an idiot. Did I make fun of you or something? No, no. Demenis, you're fine, bro. Keep them coming, baby. That's why we're here. What else we got? Oh, Justin Fisher was asking about this on Instagram. Does the Nextlight Mega have IR and UV? No, the Nextlight Mega is a quantum board essentially. It's Samsung LM series diodes, and it's a mixture of warm and neutral. So it's all white, man. It's just all white. So not a lot of technology into the Nextlight, and in fact, I think the price point is very high for the components that are in it. If you bought the boards from Northern Grow Lights and you bought 6 boards, that would only run you $450, and then the drivers would be $200, and the heat sinks would be something like $120. So you could build a $1,500 Nextlight Mega for half that very easily with the Northern Grow Lights quantum board, and you'd be assured to have higher performance because Northern Grow Lights uses the brand new XS6 bin that basically, you could like sell your firstborn child and still not get him. Cool. Active
Michael-
9X. Oh, go ahead. What?
Michael Turner wants to know if red spectrum mixed plants start flowering sooner. He says he's under 10. Under 10. 1,000 watts, I'm guessing 10 DE 1,000 watts. Holy shit.
Wow. Yeah. Red spectrum in general, really gives them that kick. Outdoors in nature, we have a slow transition into a redder light. So when you hit the plants from halide to HBS or halide to blurple or whatever, you hit them with that red and it kicks them in pretty quick, man. So yeah, absolutely. Active 9X has to go to work. So he wants to know, what do I think about Spectrum King LEDs? I can only formulate opinions based on data. I'm not going to speculate on another company's product without the data. And Spectrum King is one of the many companies that does a lot of marketing, but does not publish an efficacy. And without that efficacy, I would just be speculating, and that's just not something I want to do. If you know other growers that are having great success with Spectrum King, buy a Spectrum King.
A lot of people do endorse Spectrum King.
Yeah, a lot of people are a lot of people like them.
Love it.
I would find one of those people. I would message them and be like, "Hey, privately, what do you really think? Do you like the light?" And if you trust that person and the results are good, then buy one.
Crazy Dago uses them, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got all Spectrum King lighting in his garden.
And doesn't the dude use them?
The dude uses them, and he had a very respectable harvest with the Beast, the 600-watt Beast. If I was buying a Spectrum King, I would either buy a Mother's Little Helper or the Beast. I would skip the 400 for a couple reasons. Number one, its light engine is composed of Cree MKR diodes, which are several years old now, 3 years old at least. And they're closing them out, right? So it was $1,000 some odd light. Now they're selling for 700, which tells me that they have a shitload of diodes on a reel or a shitload of PCBs, and they need to get rid of that old inventory so that they can create a new PCB with the 600-watt Beast diode, put that in the 400, and that'll be the next gen. So if you buy one on sale today, you could be kicking yourself because new technology could be out as soon as a couple months or a month or who knows. So
Shout out to Hattie Hash Browns. She's taking off. Good night, Hattie.
Good night, Hattie. You'll DM the question later. Yeah. Hit me up on Instagram or something, Hattie. Another public service announcement. I get a lot of messages from people privately on Instagram that I do not follow, so that they get bumped into this spam folder, and the spam folder fills up and it only goes to 99 messages and then it just has a plus sign. So it's very hard for me to manage those responses. And oftentimes they aren't private things like, Grow Mouse, do you prefer boxers or briefs, or like extremely personal private message stuff. A lot of times they're general driver questions. So I am not accepting private messages about that kind of stuff. If you want my opinion on Instagram, you tag me in a public post. That way I can answer your question and 6 other people that want to know the answer can read that.
Yep.
And if you have a private account and I don't follow you, then you're just fucked. You're just going to have to figure it out. But I spent about 6 hours this week trying to get through those messages, and they just stacked up.
And Grow Mouse,
yeah.
I got to ask, how many times do you get questions that are like something you've gone over like 10 times in your videos? I mean, I'm sure I've asked you 1 or 2, but fuck, man, watch the videos. There's so much information in there. I mean, there's so much good stuff in these videos. The DIY LED Basics series was epic.
Thank you. And look, man, like, I get it. I don't think everyone hangs on my word. And I make some long videos, and I get new hobbies all the time, that aren't growing or cobs. And I just want the information. I don't want to have to dig through some dude's videos from 6 months ago. I get that. I want the information now, and I want it fast. But private message on a basic question is just not going to work for me anymore. You ask that question publicly, I will answer it, and it can benefit 6 or 10 people. So don't get butthurt if I decline your message, because that's just kind of going to be the new protocol and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Have you gotten any of your yields lab tested? Yeah. I have a friend that's an extraction chemist, and he has a laboratory grade mass spectrometer at his house, and we're testing a bunch of my product right now, actually. And we're trying to dial in that machine and calibrate that machine. And what we need a bud that has been tested by a professional lab like a Steep Hill Halent, so that we can confirm that our results are correct. So we're working that out. Crazy Dago, welcome. Your sleep schedule is whacked. I know. Fuck. I'll probably sleep until noon tomorrow. Dago's in London right now. So he'll be hosting the Grow Tube Roundtable this Friday night.
From London, huh?
From London.
That's dope.
Truly London calling. Active 9X, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Good night to you, brah.
Justin Fisher says he does wet weights just to see how much he loses in cure.
Oh, I do too.
You do?
I do too. In the same way that I measure before and after a manscaping. It makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, I take wet weights, but I don't publish them because they don't mean shit. Typically,
there's nothing. I mean, I don't know.
A dense bud, you can expect 25% of your wet weight in dry weight. So 1,000 grams wet becomes a half pound. I've had as low as 21% on a fluffier bud. So yeah, I do it just to get an idea. Wookie, like, you get this new strain, dude. You just pop the seeds. You pheno hunted this 10-pack. You culled out the males. You got the females all the way through flower. You're waiting for those trichomes to turn cloudy and then amber. And then you get your scissors and you pull it, right? And you're like, oh shit, man, I've been waiting on this. I got thousands of dollars invested into this grow. What am I going to get back out of it? Sure. You've never taken a wet weight?
No, I wouldn't even want to. I mean, I'm assuming. Here's the problems I see with taking a wet weight, is that, for one, okay, when I harvest, I'm hanging stalks, right, or I'm hanging a whole plant. So for one, I don't. What am I going to use like a bass scale for like a. I mean, the stalks are on there still, so I'm assuming you're trimming all your buds off of your stalks.
Nah,
Which
dog, you got to get a fish scale, man. Digital.
That's what I'm
fish
saying. You
scale
got a
from
bass
Academy,
like scale. You're like hanging it up, like yeah. I'll take a picture with your lunker, like.
yeah, look at this big whopper I just got.
But so I'm assuming you're trimming all your buds off the stalks to get a wet weight, right? So, or unless you're weighing your dry weight with stalks after, I don't know. I just don't see how.
Weigh it with, I mean, we're not trying to like publish a laboratory report here. We're just trying to get a fucking idea.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna get accurate, like I mean, because when I'm taking a dry weight, I'm not weighing the stalks. So how are you gonna weigh it with the stalks wet and then after weigh dry without stalks? When you get all the stalks set to the side, so you can weigh those to find out as well. I don't know. I just see all the. I mean, and I don't think it's good to dry with no stalks. Like I mean, I think you're gonna dry out way too fast if you trim all your buds off the stalk while they're still wet. Like you're doing that screen drying thing. I've never found any success with that. So I just see all kinds of reasons not to weigh my wet, do a wet weight, I guess. Plus, when I'm like but besides all that, what I was gonna say before I went on that was that that's just way too much handling for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't like to touch my buds. I don't want to knock off the trikes, bro. So I mean, the least amount of handling possible for me is the way to go, and I don't want to have to weigh them and fuck them all up.
Are you done taking a big shit over me and Justin's little
Yes.
party?
Yes.
I got you back, Justin. This Wookiee guy. Airwalker's asking what octo bubbler, and the octo bubbler is the manifolds that I use for my Floraflex. I use the red dot, which I believe is a 4 gallon per hour. Oh.
Growmouse, could you recommend a good light meter that could be used to test/compare out my HPS Cavitas LEDs, CMH, etc.?
A light meter? Yeah, the most cost-effective PAR meter that I know about is by a company called Apogee Instruments, and that's APOGEE. And the full line, handheld meter is going to cost you between $400 and $500, but they sell a sensor alone that you can plug into any multimeter, even the $7 ones, and it gives you a reading that you just have to multiply by 5. It gives you a voltage reading. So you hook it up to the multimeter, and if it says 100, that means you have 500 PAR. So that's still going to run you a couple $100, but that's going to be your best option. And PAR meters are just expensive.
See, Dago's saying that you should build a liquid-cooled LED light, but Chilled already did that, bro. Yeah.
You just click the drop-down box on Chilled, and you'll get it. I feel like Chilled's new pricing structure is very it's very fair for a light that is running with the pack right now in terms of efficiency and stuff. But given their increase in efficiency over basically every other product on the market right now, the price becomes incredibly attractive if you look at it in terms of micromoles per dollar.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. I'm building a light with those
Sure.
boards. I'm doing that. I got that second tray I need to put in the room, and I'm probably just gonna wait till harvest. You know what I'm saying, when I can afford it, and go ahead and I'm building the Chilled light, bro. Those boards look so dope.
I can't believe there's 221 people in here at this late hour.
221.
That's what my thing says. 223. I'm gonna do a quick rapid fire because we're getting backed up here. So OG Patty, is environment the secret to yield if you have nice lights? Environment is the secret to being able to actually work in your garden. A stable environment allows you to do things to really pimp out your plants. If you're going in there screwing around with environment, things are all out of whack. It's just tougher. Hiroot, are you bassing this off of Sudogro winning the party cup? I don't really I don't really follow that cup series. I never saw the point in that, but it is kind of, I mean, it's interesting. But CLU 048 at 200 watts versus well, you left off a really important piece of data, which is which CLU 048. Yeah, I'm gonna assume you mean 1818 versus 290 watt quantum boards. Quantum boards will crush CLU 048 all fucking day. All the spectrum, I mean, all the analysis are run on Roll It Up. If you go to roll it up and search username Cobb Kits, he's doing a lot of this stuff, a lot of work with those. Meef Chief, girl must have an insomnia. Well, I'm headed to work. Well, hey, put me in your earbuds on the way to work. What's up? Oh, what's up?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm just going to do like 4 more really, really fast, and then we can get back more into a conversational thing. Kovinihinas, it seems that 100-watt cobs are made of 101-watt LED diodes. So one would assume that it has fewer range capacity than 5-watt cobs. Nah, dude. 5-watt cobs are garbage. Just get a 100-watt cob. They're better. Are you going to build a chilled grill? Yeah, of course. Any good ideas for automating water setup like subcoolers? Tried Bluemont. Yeah, Bluemont's good. Or I have a video called Flora Flexing. It's pretty short and pretty interesting, so watch that. What LED has the closest spectrum to McCree? I think we should move away from McCree and replicating that spectrum. Like, if you look at the McCree curve, that's not the blueprint for a perfect spectrum. That just tells you how our plants respond to that kind of lighting. And what you have to remember is that that spectrum that's published for McCree is the average of like 17 or 22 different field plants. So that's an average. That's not telling us what spectrum cannabis likes the most. So use McCree as a baseline, but don't use it as a Bible. Marvin says, Grow Mouse, this is still live, right? The live stream reset back to the beginning. You were talking about Fada Mike and his website again. Weird. Yeah, it does that sometimes, because when you go over a certain amount of time, it starts processing and making the video available for offline viewers or non-live viewers. Delo 48, any good ideas for automating a water setup? Yeah, okay, I answered that. Airwalk, how long and how often per day is that drip on? 5 minutes a day. And I use the Banjo 40 mesh stainless steel strainer. You can get it from Amazon. It's linked in every single one of my videos. Harvey Birdman, what lights are best for oil production? Anything with a high energy spectrum, 300 and about 280 for UVB, but 380 to 450 is very high energy. So add that spectrum to the end, and you'll get higher oil production. EC Canada Growmouse, have you ever launched the giveaway on the chilled grill light? Yeah, it's launched. Go watch the chilled video on Vitali's channel. You'll see the link pinned to the top, and that's how you enter. And some numbers. What's your favorite electrical reference book for those of us that still work with ohms, watts, voltage, series? I use some college textbooks that I have. You go to Home Depot and buy a wiring book. Okay, we're caught up. Sorry, Wookie. Sorry to just like ear fuck you like that, but I mean,
While we still got like 200 and something people in here, I want to kind of pimp something on my channel real quick. Just so everybody knows, I'm coming up on 1,000 subscribers, and we're gonna have a giveaway
already.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, well, it's coming up. I'm gonna wait till I hit 1,000. I know some people like kick off their giveaways before to get themselves up there, but I'm gonna wait till I get to 1,000. So right now I'm at 872. So go subscribe, and if I hit 1,000 tomorrow, I'll launch the giveaway tomorrow. But I don't want to tell you, like, I'll give you like a little sneak peek. Like, let me see if I can do this. Like,
ooh.
What is that? Oh, yeah. So yeah. Oh wait, is there 2? There was 2. Okay, that's enough. But
you already have the prizes secured for the giveaway?
They are secured.
Oh, good. You're way. I was going to give you advice, but you're way better. You're doing a way better job on your first giveaway than I did on mine.
I have the prizes here in my possession. Yeah, there's one piece of the prize that's coming tomorrow, I think, or Friday, but it'll be here. So there's going to be a multiple, a few different items that the winner will get. So sub up.
Very cool. Yeah, sub to Wookie Kush. We don't really have any people that could link it. Why don't you link your own channel? Promote yourself.
Hell yeah, I'll do that. Let me get over there.
Go. You should. I would do it, but I'm feeling too lazy. You should pop up put the link in and pop up a screen share of your video, because your photography and videography is really coming along nicely. The videos are very pleasing to watch. I enjoy them very much.
I have been editing one, and it's probably sitting up right here in front of me in Wondershare. I guess I could show a little bit of that sneak peek.
I'm getting a sneak peek through your shades. In the meantime, I'm gonna make words with my mouth Justin Medeiros says, "Did your quantum light recipe perform as well as you wanted?" The first 2-week recipe performed it exceeded my expectations, and I will be filming and talking about that before the deadline of getting a video out before the roundtable on Friday night. Shadunk asks Wookie Kush, how many of those new chilled LED boards and what wattage do you think? Everyone's asking these 4x4 questions. We just don't know, bro. We just don't have the data yet. Let's get the data from a goniometer, and then we'll know exactly. We won't have to guess. You won't have to spend more money than you need to. Crazy Dago, we need to find Grow Mouse a girl to keep him occupied so he's not awake. If I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't be making as much content, man. I wouldn't be filming. I wouldn't be building as much. So
I was gonna say, don't say that. Don't say that. That's the last thing we need.
I've been in many relationships. I go on dates with gals here and there that I meet, in various ways, and I enjoy that. But I'm very focused on, building the Grow Mouse brand and building it into a household name that's synonymous with unbiased cannabis growing technology reviews and testing. You feel me? Ja feel?
So we got a little sneak peek coming up for you right here
Yeah.
for everybody in the stream.
How'd you get that Star Wars font into Filmora?
So I just downloaded I just happen to have a Star Wars font on my computer because I'm a Star Wars nerd. So it just popped up in Filmora. I had it installed, like for Word and stuff.
Okay, because I've seen, I used to be big into that game Clash of Clans on the iOS, and everyone was trying to get a Clash of Clans font, and so I found a way to download it into Word, and so that would just propagate into Filmora.
Yeah, so I could probably show you here. Like if I'm gonna enter some text, like say right here. Okay, so is this gonna work? Am I doing this wrong? Okay, so if I'm entering some text and here's my font screen. If I just drop down and scroll down, I don't know how well you can see this.
Yeah, I can see it.
So there it is, Star Jedi.
Star Jedi. There you go, folks. Because we got a lot of Star Wars cannabis fans in the house, like just on Instagram and all over the place. So
goes hand in hand, man.
Very cool.
I might get stoned and watch Star Wars.
Very cool, Mr. Kush. Airwalk. I'm using a very high gallon per hour pump. If you'd like more information on my watering schedule, I have a video called Flora Flexing. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, fast forward through probably like 6, 7, 8 minutes, skip all that stuff, and you'll be able to see exactly what pump I use. It's not expensive, and exactly how long I'm running it. And I haven't changed it since the day I set it up. That is how bulletproof and how hands-free the Flora Flex drippers are. They're so fucking awesome. And I'm not even officially sponsored by them. They sent me some free stuff, but they don't pay me to say this stuff.
So I thought I was looking pretty good for day 15, bro, but I saw your day 17 shot today and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I am using a light recipe that includes, far red of flower initiation, far red during the peak of the peak of the sun, basically at the 6-hour mark. So I'm kind of benefiting from the Emerson effect and increased photosynthetic rate through that trick. And I'll cover that in the video. You should only measure yourself to yourself. They're different strains. You're a different grower with a different light. So
you should definitely not measure yourself against the Grow Mouse.
Don't try to stand toe to toe with me.
That's the only way I'm gonna get better, bro.
No, you're coming up. You're creeping on the come up big time. We'll get you through this harvest. Get you some amazing bud shots of the dark plasma, which is one of the most photogenic strains I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
and we'll be good. Spaceballs right now. Vitali's boards, which is a composition of several different types of chips, appear to be the most efficient LED grow light boards in the world right now.
The winner of his contest will be the first person to have that.
Dago, how many subs do you have right now? Right click Crazy Dago, visit channel. Oh, can I do this without moving my left hand to touch a keyboard? Go to channel. Ah, yes, this is working. You know what we should do? Let's give the old crazy Dago a little screen time. I feel like Dago does not get to talk enough about his garden and what's going on with him on the roundtable, because we go through our intros and sometimes, you know, I try to keep my intro at or under about 3 minutes, but sometimes guys will take 5 minutes. What's 5 times 10, right?
And the little tangents that happen of all the time.
And the little
Dago
tangent.
gets the short end of the stick there.
He does. He barely ever gets to talk about his shit. So we're here on the Keep It Green Crazy Dago Cannabis channel. I really enjoy your Urban Loot series. And it looks like they're doing pretty well. About 2,000 views on that. Which is pretty good. 2,000 reviews for a poker toker is, I think that's pretty good. Right? I mean, there's only so many things you can say about a lighter holder with a paper clip on the end.
I dig it, man. Hey, that's where I found out about the Net Atmo, bro.
Oh hell yeah! I want one of those so bad.
Dude, so dope.
But if you'll notice, there was a long time where it was all round table stuff, and now Dago's he's coming in with the Urban Loot. He's mixing it up there, and he's doing some drumming. He's doing some Nintendo, and he's doing more of a vlog style grow room video, which I find very refreshing.
I dig it.
You know, because when I go in my room, I grab my tripod and I film plants for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And so it's a nice change of pace to see Home Depot and to see a project and
see him get kicked out at Home Depot for filming.
Yeah.
I didn't know you couldn't film in Home Depot, by the way.
There's got to be some shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
In there. I've never been kicked out anywhere for filming.
Yeah, that seems wacky.
Yeah, it looks like these videos are doing pretty good. I mean, anytime you get 10% of the total views and likes, you're doing great. I normally get a little butthurt when I don't get 10%. I get like 8% sometimes. And I understand people aren't logged in, you know, they're at work, but like, is it that hard to hit that button? Look, I hit it 3 times. It's pretty easy to hit it. So
I hit that thumbs up. I hit that thumbs before I even watch them most of the time. You're growing, you know, you're putting up a grow video. Thumbs up, bro.
Yeah, these videos are doing pretty good. 138 comments. Why were we here? Oh yeah, subscribers. Dago, is this making you nervous that I'm on your channel talking about you going into the innards of your video? Okay, so Dago's at 8,970 subs. So we got about 1,000 to go. And Dago, I think we should do something special for your giveaway. Here's what a giveaway did for me. It was a way for me to bribe people into subscribing to my channel. Right. So that definitely worked out. But what it did was people that come to my channel by typing in Grow Mouse, or like your iPhone will save it. So you just hit the letter G and then you just go Grow Mouse and then you watch. You don't have to be subscribed. But what it did was people that watch my shit already, it was like, okay, I got to subscribe to win. So I guess I should finally hit that red button, or I should actually go make a YouTube username and follow this guy. So that's what it took people that were already watching my shit, you know, and made them subscribe. And that's what a giveaway does for you. So, yeah, Dago, let's brainstorm. And I think we got enough lead time to do something dope.
He was talking the other day about, I think he's got a bunch of stuff lined up already.
Oh, cool. Well, you know, you had some Mal 5.
Some ideas at least. I mean, pimp it out, bro.
Dr. McClellan says I'm flowering with 4 Vero 29 5000K and a 3x3. Am I screwing myself? Should I get on to building another 3K? Yeah, man, that's way too blue to be flowering under. I mean, you're just not gonna have the weight. It'll probably look fantastic, but
nice and squat.
Yeah, you're gonna lose weight. Chris Tesmer says, Crazy Dago, Grow Mouse, GrowTube intros definitely get too lengthy sometimes. It can get to be an hour into the show before topics start sometimes. Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. What do you think? Wookie, would be an appropriate amount of time for intros? because I agree. An hour into the show before, if guys want to know how we're doing for an hour, they could probably watch like half of
Your
our videos for
videos?
that week. So it is a nice. I think intros are a nice way to get people kind of amped up and excited about being there. But yeah, an hour is probably a little excessive. What do you think, Wookie?
I think, yeah, an hour, but for me, I mean, it just depends on who you are, bro. I watch you guys, you know what I'm saying? I follow all your guys' channels, and I've been watching you guys for a long time. So it's like I'm like, first hour flies by, I'm like, fuck, it's been I hear Dago say like, oh, we're already an hour in. I'm like, shit, we are? Like, I feel like I'm part of it, you know what I mean? Like so it doesn't bother me as a viewer, but
you
I
have a lot
mean,
of friends in chat.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I'm watching the roundtable and I'm listening to you guys' updates, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me at all. But as a content creator and somebody who does streams, I know exactly what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard though. It's so hard to keep it. We always talk and we always say, like, we're gonna keep these intros down, we're gonna keep the tangents from happening. Somebody's got to control and do this. It's so hard.
It is. Dago does a great job with it.
He does. Dago, and if anybody could do a good job of it, it's Dago. So
some guys are a little more long-winded and some guys are a little shorter. I'm on the more long-winded side. So maybe if I dialed it back from a 5-minute intro down to like a 3-minute intro and there's 10 people, that would take a 50-minute. If we all did that, that'd take a 50-minute intro down to a 30-minute, which I think would probably be more acceptable. So we'll definitely take that very well-worded constructive criticism and we'll chew it up and we'll eat it.
I say you guys are doing just fine. I don't think anything needs to change.
Sure. What I would actually
maybe extend the show out another hour. Have more time on the topics.
Green Man says, sorry to smash you with questions, mate. What about coverage on a single 400 watt HPS compared to two Mars 400? Would there be, bro? We just answered this exact question.
Exact same one.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been somebody else, but like what you're looking at is around 500 micromoles per photon per meter squared. So 500 ppfd under a 400 watt HPS. And you're looking at 300 and change off of the Mars 400, which is really only 200 watts from the wall. So what those photons mean is they directly affect photosynthetic rate, and photosynthetic rate directly affects yield. So to answer the question again, you're better off with the HPS. In fact, you're actually better off with a 315 watt ceramic metal halide than a 400 watt HPS, in my opinion. Harvey Birdman, is 3,500 for veg and flower? Yes, absolutely, both all the way through.
Vault Chris 420 has a very unique way of wording a very popular question. He says, if a sinister evil force were to only let you grow one strain for the rest of your life, which would it be? It sounds like he's from Berlin.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm part German. My dad was born in Frankfurt, and so I got love for my German people. I have not visited the motherland yet. I haven't taken my pilgrimage, but when I look at my analytics, after the United States and Canada, the UK and Germany are my next two biggest people that watch the videos.
I get hits from Germany too, man.
Well,
a lot of growers in Germany.
There are a lot of growers in Germany. A lot of them are pretty underground, and Germans, generally speaking, are into technology, and they're into engineering and technology and doing things right the first time. And I'm just going to trail off because I don't really know where I was going with that. But much love to Germany. Was there a question? Oh yeah, the strain. Jeez Louise.
Such an evil question, bro. I can't even.
Right now, honestly, it'd be the dark plasma because it tastes fantastic and it's the one strain that if I hit it hard, it allows me to go to sleep. And I haven't had any today, so that's why I'm up at pretty late. So we're gonna kind of wind things down here. I think, Wookie, I'm tired as fudge.
Me too, bro.
So
I'm with you.
So what we'll do is we'll do a last call, At this point in the stream, I consider all questions to have been answered. No previous questions will be answered because I'm not scrolling up. Oh, sorry, Gary. I moved the Gary. Gary host says your mic's a little low. Thank you. I was getting into that laid back nodding off mode. The sound of my own voice sometimes for too long just bores the living tears out of myself. And it's self-inflicted. You can only talk about micromoles and milliamps for so long until you put yourself to sleep. What do you think, Wookie? You ever put yourself to sleep?
No, man. I think I just talked myself out of a high. I was fucking lit and ready to go to sleep before I hopped on the stream. Now I'm wide awake.
One of my favorite things. What's your favorite thing to do when you're like baked and you don't have to deal with your wife or kids?
Oh, you took the last thing out. I was gonna say my favorite thing to do when I'm baked is play with my kids. Like I'll play video games with my son and shit all day long. But wow, when I don't have to do with my wife and kids and I'm baked, man, most of the time I just end up zoning out on fucking YouTube videos, man. I don't know.
Sure.
Fuck.
No, it's interesting because I'm not a parent, but I could imagine as a parent, you have to do certain things. I mean, you obviously want to interact with your children and you want to spend time with them, but some of the shit that kids do is fucking boring, right?
Right,
So,
dude. I mean, you can only watch like the same fucking video game or the same cartoon so many times, but when you get baked, it's just like, fuck it, yeah, let's do it, man. Extra hugs, here we go.
you're in the privacy of your own home. You have a little bit of cannabis, and then all of a sudden, Dora the Explorer becomes super awesome, right?
Right.
Justin asks, "What do I need to get a Grow Mouse hat?" I'm working on it, man. I'll have them up at some point somewhere. Jay Maestro has joined us. Good morning, Jay Maestro. Uh-oh. The yawns have come in. Shadonk just ordered an Apogee light sensor from Rapid LED. I didn't even know they sold power sensors there. I hope you use the discount code GROWMOUSE at checkout for 5% off.
Dope.
I fall asleep to streams. Justin Fisher, I have fallen asleep to streams and I feel really bad. One time I was rewatching the round table just to make sure I didn't say anything stupid. And I fell asleep to my own stream.
We've had people, I'll just say in Trichome Chasers, we've had people fall asleep on streams. During streams, so don't feel too bad.
Grows
We're
in
not
R&D, that Morse and Cobb, I mean, yeah, we looked it up. I Googled it and I found it. So, if I can find it and it's not even my grow light, then you should be able to find it. But I've offered him so much assistance on that product that I don't have any idea about as I'm capable of doing at this point. Anything further would just use speculation. So I apologize. I can't help you further.
Grow Mouse, does the DIY chilled LED kit come with a driver? I don't believe so.
Nah, it doesn't. But driver's like $40. So I don't know how much was the kit, like 150 or 200 or I don't even remember. There's like 2 or 280. But yeah, we'll have more chilled coverage as we get a little bit more information. Yeah. So I think this has officially been probably one of the latest streams on the GrowTube internet web of the Googles.
And we somehow still have 215 people watching.
How is that possible? Why are you guys here?
I think a lot of people are like East Coasting right now and they're waking up to go to work, bro. That's what it sounds like.
Maybe we should just keep it going because we're getting that East Coast feelers up in here.
East Coast bump, wake and bake. Let's go.
East Coast bump. Why do you guys watch the stream? Do you want questions answered? Do you want information? Is it entertainment? Is it here? Are you here, to spend time and hang out with the other people in the chat, which I enjoy doing a lot? How can I improve the stream? More streams, shorter, more frequent streams like this. I'm lonely. I'm lonely too, Robert. That's why I stream.
Oh, just fucking broke chat, bro.
Uh-oh. The late show with Grow Mouse. Wake up, Mouse. Here's the problem. My gas station that's walking distance doesn't open for another 59 minutes, and I'm out of Red Bull, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, Weed Eclectic likes my voice. Thank you, Weed Eclectic. Really enjoyed meeting you. I wish we would have got to hang out more at the Cup and everything, but a lot of people are into the DIY. A lot of people have built fixtures from watching my videos, and that makes me feel really good. Not because of like ego, but because you have a set amount of money in your wallet that you worked really hard for, and you could go get ripped off by some rebranded China shit, or you could take matters into your own hands and build your own light that you grow your own cannabis with. And I think that's awesome, man. Jay Scroggs, shout out, man. Appreciate the love. It's like I was, you know, when a female sometimes will fish for compliments, like, this dress makes me look kind of chubby, doesn't it? And then you're like, no, you look that that was not my intention. Tent grower, shout out. Oh, here's one of the best usernames around. Tissues for my issues. Tissues for my issues. Oh, that's got to be a hashtag somewhere. That's incredible. Organ donor. I work nights, off now, and trimming, just listening. Strain reviews. Yeah, we could do a little more strain reviews. I got about 11 strains here, and if I had a friend like Ninja that could come over, we could do an 11 strain review and see who passes out first. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to be me.
Oh, bro, I got a shout out.
Yeah, Wookie, take the mic, man. Say what you got to say.
Let me get a screen share here, and we got 221 people, and he's not here, so he's never going to know unless he watches this tomorrow, which he very well might. But my shout out, I will pull up here. It's for a man that just started a YouTube channel. He only has like 13 subs. He's got one video that he just put up yesterday, and his name is Mr. Marduber. Okay, and I'm shouting him out because not only does he have a decent little grow up going on, but you know, it's like full circle coming along here. You know, I started my YouTube channel because I was inspired by people like Grow Mouse and Crazy Dago, and now somebody started a YouTube channel because I'm assuming that they're inspired by me for some reason. They mentioned me in their first video. He mentions me and says that he's inspired by me, but also, as you can see,
are you looking up some kind of Nazi shit? What's up? What are you searching?
What?
Never mind. I just see a swastika on the suggested.
Oh shit! Oh, disturbing things found on Google Earth. Those are great things to look at. Anyways, yeah. So he's got the Star Wars thing going on.
Rewind it, bro. I'm sorry. I was talking. I want to see this. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
So he's Mr. Maduber. He was inspired by, as you can see, it says right here, fuck, GrowTube Roundtable. But he mentions me, he mentions Grow Mouse, he mentions Stego. I mean, he's inspired by the community, man. He's got a good little grow going on. He's got, I mean, fuck, it's way better than what I started out with. So I think he said he used to grow a long time ago, and he's starting back up again. But check out his channel, man, Mr. Marduber. He's one of the few growers that I've seen that started off right off the bat showing his face. So props for that.
Yeah.
But let's see if I can fast forward to some plants. There we go. So he's got some plants. He's running some mushroom growing gear. He's got some Jawa pie, I think, if I remember correctly. So.
Oh, cool. Jawa's great. For a small space. A lot of Jawa pie phytos grow pretty compact. I'm sure there's some stretchy ones too, but
yeah,
mine was
got some bud. Yeah, Jawa pie is one of the ones that I've always I don't know why I haven't purchased it yet. It just kind of slipped by me every time it popped on. So it's on my list.
I think the Malibu pie, you know, is gonna give you similar profiles, flavor profiles, but you know, it's kind of the new thing, and so I was a little bit more attracted to the Malibu pie, but I bought a pack of Jawa as well.
Right. And Malibu pie was just a pheno, right? That they kind of like.
I believe it was an F1 selected pheno of Jawa pie. Yeah.
Tasted like Hawaiian punch or something, I believe they said.
Justin Fisher's asking me to make coffee, and I guess I could make coffee because I have a fancy new Fada mic FodMike.com and Ruby Doobie coffee mugs, super thick. These are they're changing the design, so this will be like a limited edition. And Fada Mike's actually, he's blowing up pretty good. He's got that whole holistic, fermented fruit juices, no tilly type of crowd following him. And if you don't like Fada Mike, there's probably something wrong with you, because he is just the sweetest, coolest, like most
Yeah,
practical.
how could you not like Father Mike?
No, I'm not suggesting anyone, but I would definitely suggest someone, subscribe to him, because like that Lazy Susan and a number of other things, I overcomplicate things, and I spend too much money on doing a project. Fada Mike, dude, he goes down to the freaking dollar store, and
Lazy Susan is clutch, bro. That shit is genius.
it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Woody, I'm only 45, but hope to be like Mike when I grow up. I couldn't agree more. When I grow up, definitely. Oh, wow. Fresno Nerds is still in the house. Fresno Nerds was on Subcool stream a little bit earlier, and he's kind of making his foray into the world of the YouTube internet live streams. But you can follow him over at sugarhill_CA for California on Instagram. You can check him out. He's down with the men's out.
Lazy Susan Scrog training. What?
Lazy Susan Scrog training. No, that. Well,
So you're talking about like you have a net that's attached to the Lazy Susan somehow, and then the net rotates as well.
What I've seen is I've seen some people take a tomato cage and put it in a 5 or 7 gallon pot, and then take that like 3-inch by 3-inch or 4-inch by 4-inch metal mesh stuff and lay that on top of the tomato cage, creating a square screen.
Oh yeah.
And so for that application, yeah, Lazy Susan would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be great. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this. Venus, do you think 1,000-watt power supplies with duct boosters are better priced than 4 250-watt drivers? I just don't understand the question. There may be a language barrier, but a power supply of what? Are you talking about a 1,000-watt DC power supply and a duct booster? How does a duct booster relate to a DC power supply? And then how does a duct booster and a DC power supply relate to a 250-watt LED driver? So you're really going to have to clarify the question instead of spamming it, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I would love to help you, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a tone. And when I feel myself like getting that like asshole tone, I'm like, no, dude, don't take that tone. But I get a little bit fussy. Wookie, I get a little fussy at these wee hours of the morning. Like, oh, Gromas is such a nice guy. Yeah, wait till you see his ass at 4 or 5 a.m. He'll fucking bite your head off.
Somebody said vertical grow with a motorized Lazy Susan. I can't even think about this shit right now. It's too late.
Okay, so this is a 2-minute warning. We're ending the stream in 2 minutes. So Wookie, anything? Maybe 1 minute. I don't know. I'm done. I'm done. I've gone
testy
far as I can go. Yeah, when you start getting a little nippy with somebody, then it's kind of like, okay, time to end it. and this is supposed to be a 30-minute stream, so like, my goodness, I don't know how long, but maybe I'll leave this stream up. Are you cool with that? Leaving this up, or
hell yeah. Okay. No, it's all good.
Yeah, let's leave it up. Let's leave it up, and so we'll say goodbye to the chat. Fresno Nerds, it was a pleasure making your acquaintance. I will definitely check you out on Instagram and look forward to seeing more of you on Subcool stream. Justin Fisher, thanks as always for coming out. Peter S, appreciate you. Polo Boy. We got Jay Scrog, Master Yip, Crust Cheese. Hey, Crust Cheese, did you ever test or work with the Nietzsche cops? No, I've looked at them, Crust Cheese. I just haven't used them.
We're almost there. Go sub.
Oh, did you get any subs out of the stream?
I got like 20 after I announced the giveaway. So,
hey,
well, hey, let's do some more here. I want to get to 1,000. I'm ready to give some shit away. So let's go.
20 subs from a late night stream.
Can't beat it.
It's not bad. It's better than a square kick right in the nads. Stop teasing us with that. Are those rosin bags? Are the seeds?
They're seeds.
Oh, you tease. You tease. I'm still working on the internet security thing. It got backburnered, man. There's just okay. I got 3 videos on quantum boards that need to be made. I've got the update on the light. I've got the general kit assembly, and then I've got the discussion of the new 54 volt and 110 volt that needs to be produced, along with many other videos that are just like blah. Get off the stream, fire up the camera. I don't want to just do all live streams. I want to produce videos and not just talk about theoretically how to grow plants, but grow plants. You know, otherwise it's all hypothetical and theoretical. So, Jay Maestro, shout out, man. I'm gonna try to make it to the DGC Cup. Both the dude and Scotty texted me tonight, and I was on Subcool stream, and I'll have to get back to him in the morning. It's just too much. But I think that's it. Any final words, Hook?
Negative.
Well, for Grow Mouse and Wookie Kush, we wish you all a pleasant morning, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Drive safe to work, people.
Love you. Bye.